So I've mentioned in a couple of videos that I'm going to review a chain waxing kit, and I was hoping for that to be this week. So sometime in March, I've been waiting for a pre-order date to come through on CycloWax. So lots of different ways to wax a chain, and I'm pretty sure the end result is going to be almost identical, whether you're using a £15 AliExpress leg waxing kit with bicycle wax, or the most expensive one, which seems to be the one I'm waiting for. So I took a punt. I thought, you know what, I'm going to only buy it once. I'm going to buy the one that's easiest to use, the most convenient, and it had been on GCN and it looked really good. However, before I review it, because it hasn't arrived, I'm going to review what I consider poor customer service. So I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but my problem is when I pre-order something and it says ships end of April, I expect it to ship end of April. So towards the end of April, I sent an email going, "Hi there, just wondering when I can expect delivery of my new wax kit that cost £200. And I didn't get a reply. So first of all, I know they're busy and they're fulfilling orders and so on. So, but not good enough. Not good enough. Okay, I want a response. So replying to an email, I work in customer service, so replying to an email is easy. Heard nothing. Sent another email. Heard nothing. Then yesterday, I get a generic email to everyone that's been waiting for the pre-order. Hi, obviously no name because they can't be bothered to add a name. It's too complicated. Just wanted to give you an update on your performance wax kit pre-order. First of all, thank you. Anyway, I'm going to summarize. Orders from January to February are going to start shipping in May, mid-May. Now I ordered mine in March because I wanted a delivery date, so I didn't want to order it without knowing a delivery date. And when I ordered in March, beginning of March, it said shipping end of April, which is now. If you ordered it in March, shipping starts in mid-June. And I think what's cheesed me off really more than anything else is just blanking me, not replying to it, and then changing the goalposts when you're expecting delivery of something. So yeah, a bit cheesed off. And I've used drip-on wax before. So drip-on wax is a bit of a faff because you've got to kind of do it 3 times before getting a decent result, but I like the results of a wax chain. And I've also ordered a pre-wax chain for another bike, for a different bike. So I know how good it is on the drivetrain. And prior to that, I used to just use muck off dry lube because I like a clean drivetrain, should I say. So I like everything clean and neat and tidy, and that's what the waxing does. So I was going to buy a cheap AliExpress, or just not even AliExpress, but one I could have got in a couple of days, about 25 quid I think it was, for a wax melting pot. And then I was going to buy some bike specific wax. But anyway, I kind of compromised on buying a kit that is, I'm going to do an unboxing, I'm not going to do a full review now, but this kit was I think £89, including the wax. Okay, so not my tools, they're mine, and a brand new chain, because I'm going to wax a couple of chains today. So I'm going to just use this kit, and I'll do an unboxing, but I'll do a full review I guess once I've finished. So let's see how that goes. And basically, if I find it easy and I find it convenient, I'm going to cancel the other one. So poor customer service probably meant they lost out. So if anyone's watching this and you've also ordered one, tell me your experience please, because I don't want to be the only one giving them a negative feedback, because it might be really positive from everyone else. Maybe everyone else has had really great communication, maybe you've already received yours, and so on and so forth. But yeah, let me know in the comments please. So here we go. This is the kit, Ride Flare. And I did actually watch a review a while ago on this, but I'd forgotten all about it. until it just popped up. And by the way, next day delivery, so it's sealed. Next day delivery. I think it's very similar to the Silka one. So packaging seems pretty good. Different types of wax, by the way. It's either got tungsten in it or this has got some sort of PTFE mix. And I have kind of Googled, can I mix this one with the tungsten one? And they've got kind of different attributes. So we shall see. So that's that. Little hook and chain wire, which I know some people use a broken spoke. And that's how we'll clip it up. UK plug. The kit itself, which has got a temperature gauge on it. Instructions, which look nice and easy. I like instructions with pictures. We have the base and the stand to hang the chain on. So I'm guessing those two things go together. So I'm going to give this a go. I've got to take my chain off my bike. The chain's new on my bike, so I'm going to take that off, measure it against another new chain and do 2 today. So that's the idea. And then I'll let you know how good it is at the end. So when I'm getting ready to use my new chain, the top one is the brand new stripped chain and the bottom one is my old slightly stretched but also previously waxed chain. So I'm just lining them up to see if I need to remove any links, and on my other bike I had to remove about 5 or 6, but this one, apart from the quick links, as you can see at the end, it's exactly the right length. So it was an 11-speed Shimano Ultegra chain going on a 105 group set, so it seems to be correct for my group set out of the box, but it's always worth checking. And yeah, that's my chain removal tool and my chain breaker tool as well. So yeah, good to go, ready to wax. The bike is nice and easy to clean, so I'm going to leave it on the stand, and while the chain is being waxed, I'll give this a really good thorough clean before I put the new chain back on. Right, so I've got my degreased chain set to the right length, and I've got the wax heater ready. In fact, it's not turned on yet, but I'll turn that on shortly. Now I've just lined up the chain roughly so that the links kind of line up so that I can hang it. So I've got to just feed through this wire. So this will make it a bit easier to connect, and then that should just screw together. Once everything's lined up. Or is that the wrong way round? That's the wrong way round, isn't it? Yeah, let's start that again. Feed that through, and then screw it together. Wonderful. Right, so that's nice and easy once you get that bit right, and then that'll be ready to just hang up. about waxing your chain is get organised. So I've got my instructions ready. So that's given me a step by step. So that's nice and easy, and that will stay in the box in between waxing in case I forget the temperatures and so on. So first step is to get the melt to about 210 Fahrenheit or 98 degrees. So that's just warming up now. So that's 29. Oh, you probably can't see that's flashing, but it's about 29 degrees now. Once it gets to the correct temperature, I'm going to dip it for about 15 minutes, and then you turn it down to about 60 degrees. And once it gets to 60 degrees, you can take it out and hang it to dry. Okay, and then you need to break it before you put it back on the, break the links up so that it's not too stiff before you put it back on the bike. But the other thing about getting organised, so that's what I'm going to fish, you know, if I need to fish that in and out for any reason, but also getting organised with where I'm going to put the chains once they're waxed. I've got a spare one for each bike, so that's the one ready. So I've got a clean one just recently put on, so I did 2 at a time. And then this bike, because it was in the shop, I was supposed to be getting a new chain, but it didn't come in stock. So I've only got this one, will be the spare one when it comes into stock. And the other thing is I've got my white spirit for degreasing new chains, which I think is going to become a thing of the past. And I'll explain that in a second. And then once I've degreased it, I normally put that through twice. So I throw away or dispose of one jar of white spirit, take that down the dump in a different container, keep this one, put a fresh one in, and once it comes out clear, I then rinsed it off, dried it, and then put it into this ethyl alcohol, swished it around one time through there, dried it again with a lint-free towel, and then it was on the radiator overnight. You can just dry it with a hairdryer, but I put it on the radiator just to make sure it's really dry. So that is bone dry now, ready for that wax to get on. So yeah, all nice and organised, just keeping things where I need them. They don't stay in here, but I'm just saying I know where to find everything. And yeah, nice and organised. And then while when I do hang the chain up, that's when because I'm having a coffee now. But once I've got that in the heater, I'll finish my coffee. And I'll finish the coffee, and then while the chain is hanging up to dry for 20 minutes after it's come out of the dip, before I break it, I might leave it longer, I can't remember, I'll read it properly. But during that time anyway is when I'm going to thoroughly wash and dry the bike. And then yeah, I should be good to go for a short ride today. I've got a couple of rides planned for the weekend. But yeah, just a short one. So the Roubaix's back in the shop, getting a little bit of an overhaul. It needed a new bottom bracket. The last time it went in, the back brake wasn't bled properly, so that's getting re-bled. Going for new pads, and then just a general kind of look over, getting everything re-greased, and yeah, ready for the summer. So that really doesn't take very long to get up to temperature. It's been about 5 minutes so far, and it's all kind of swirling away. So that's the second time I've used this pot. So I don't know how that compares to like a crock pot or some, you know, one of those sort of things, but I can tell you that when I was at Cyclowax, make a big deal about the process being about 10 minutes in total. So the only difference between this one, which is a fraction of the price, is that it takes about, say, 10 minutes. Let's give it the longest kind of thing. It's about 10 minutes to warm up to temperature, which is about now. And then you're putting it in for 10 minutes or 10 to 15 and stirring it every 2 to 3 minutes. And the Cyclowax one vibrates and does its own kind of version of stirring. But anyway, I know the end result's going to be the same because that's more dependent on what kind of wax you use. So right, ready to dip. Okay, so just jiggle that around a bit so it all fits in. Try not to spill it on the table. Okay, I'm going to leave that a bit lower now. There we go, fully submerged. I can just leave that gently there for now. Or I could hook it up. Is that going to work? Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so that's fully submerged now. And my non-branded wooden spatula slash fork from a takeaway delivery. That's perfect. Right, so I'm going to leave that there for 10 to 15 minutes. I'll come back and stir it, but I'm also going out to wash the bike. So 10 to 15 minutes later, drop the temperature to 60. And then when it gets there, you can take it out and hang it up. Okay, so that's been at temperature for a while and I forgot. So now we can hang it out for 5 to 7 minutes. And then another 20 to solidify. So I think that the most hassly part of that job is degreasing a new chain, which you only have to do once when it's new, but a lot of manufacturers now are offering pre-waxed chains. So if that's something you're going to do, you may as well buy a waxed chain, which is the next one I'm getting. I think it's a KLM. So yeah, that kind of degreasing process won't be a thing. And then next time when I want to kind of clean and wash this, all I've got to do is pour boiling water over it and then I can re-wax it. So I think it's probably less hassle than degreasing an oily chain, which you've got to do every time you want to re-oil it if you do it properly. I think you'll find it runs pretty silently. This is after about 30 miles of riding. Everything's still nice and clean. So in summary, I think I'm not going to go back to oiling my chain, waxing it regardless of the method or the product. I'm going to carry on waxing my chains. I love how clean everything is. I love how silently it runs. And yeah, for me, it's good to go. Anyway, thanks for watching. And please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Bye for now.